최근 중국에서 공개된 원룸 아파트가 큰 화제입니다. 지난 6일 홍콩 매체 사우스 차이나 모닝 포스트는 중국 상하이에서 화장실과 부엌이 한 공간에 있는 6제곱미터 원룸 아파트가 나와 해외 네티즌들의 비난을 받고 있다고 보도했습니다. 소위 나노 아파트로 알려진 이 원룸은 화장실, 주방, 침실로 구성되어 있다고 전해졌는데요. 놀라운 것은 주방 싱크대 앞에 화장실 변기가 같은 공간에 있다는 점입니다. 임대업자는 주방 싱크대 수전이 샤워기로 전환되는 신기술을 적용했다며 세입자가 화장실에 앉아 볼일을 보는 동시에 요리를 할 수 있는 등 공간을 최대한 알차게 구성했다. 월 380위안에 싼 임대료로 원룸 생활을 할 수 있다고 선전했습니다. 이 영상을 본 해외 네티즌들은 갑론을박 난리가 났습니다. 아무리 중국이라도 주방에 변기가 있는 게 가능하냐? 화장실 변기에 앉아 식사를 하다니. 중국엔 최소한의 인간 존중이 없는가라며 황당한 반응인데요. 하지만 중국에서는 월세가 비싸고 인구 밀도가 높은 지역 특성상 어쩔 수 없는 현상이라며 오히려 공간을 알차게 구성했다고 칭찬하는 반응입니다. 사실 중국의 화장실 문제는 늘 골칫거리가 되어 왔는데요. 중국인들은 세계 곳곳을 다니며 세계 모든 지역을 화장실로 자유롭게 사용하는가 하면 중국 내 화장실 역시 문제가 많기로 유명하기 때문입니다. 119만 명의 구독자를 가진 유튜브 채널 설펜자를 운영하는 윈스턴 스터즐은 서양인의 관점에서 중국 생활과 관련된 다양한 주제를 영상으로 제작해 유명해졌습니다. 최근 중국인들이 다시 세계로 나오자 아무 데서나 볼일을 보고 있는 중국 화장실 문화에 대한 심각성이 대두되며 그의 영상이 다시 주목받고 있습니다.
This is pretty disgusting. This guy's kitchen. See, there's his cooking stuff. There, his woks on the wall. Is his toilet. Toilet and kitchen in one. See, they're even like vegetables and stuff here ready, and eggs ready to be prepared. It's gross, dude. It's fucking gross.
So you must be wondering about that clip. What's going on there? Well, this was a guy's kitchen, part of a small restaurant that I went to actually. And this is where the guy obviously goes to the bathroom, washes his dishes, washes the vegetables and stuff that he cooks, and everything all in one. This is not the first time I've seen this, by the way. And this wasn't even in some backwater area. This was a provincial level city in Guangdong in the south of China called Heyuan. But here's the thing, guys. First of all, pit toilets are pit toilets. They're all over Asia. China, it's the majority of toilets that you find, especially public toilets, are pit toilets. It doesn't matter what city you're in. I mean, here's a clip from Beijing that I took in 2019. Well, if you're here taking a dump, no one is ever going to have privacy, that's for sure. At least they have a Western style toilet at the end here. Must be for all the foreigners who come here. But that is a men's bathroom. This is a Beijing hutong, and these bathrooms have been remodeled because the hutongs are these kind of old style alleyway living areas. People don't have bathrooms inside of their little houses, so they share bathrooms, and also the public uses these bathrooms. Now, this is not a video to say whether pit toilets are better than Western toilets, or Western toilets are, the sit-down type are better than pit toilets, because you can go into the fanciest of apartment buildings or restaurants in China and you will find pit toilets because it's a preferred type of toilet for most Chinese people. That's how they grew up. It is in some ways more hygienic because you don't need to sit on a seat. You kind of just hover above the toilet, that kind of thing. And so it's not about what kind of toilet is better, but it's more about the state, really, of a lot of these public bathrooms. And I think you can tell a lot about a society by the toilets. I know that sounds weird, but this really gives you a no-nonsense look at Chinese society, because public toilets are the great equalizer. We're not dealing with super rich people with their fancy apartments and fancy hotels. We're not dealing with dirt poor people with poor houses and their poor hotels or lack of being able to stay in hotels. We're dealing with public toilets. Now, these are the toilets you find across the entire country. This is not a provincial thing. You find these really, I don't know, for lack of a better word, just wild public bathrooms in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west. And sometimes I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the grandmothers and the parents prefer to take their kids just to go and take a piss in the street or whatever, because nobody wants to go in those bathrooms unless they really have to. Now, of course, you do get nice public bathrooms in shopping malls and things like that, but for instance, the one you're looking at right now
was actually part of a fairly normal gas station, surrounded by beautiful scenery and things like that. And perhaps an even better example of this is this really nice, normal, clean-looking gas station that we stopped at, where you can see everything looks normal. We had a lot of fun talking to the people there. Everyone was great and friendly, and it all looked very nice from the outside. It's even got a nice shiny plaque. But when you enter the bathroom, this is what you see. Let's take a look at this truck stop. Oh God, this is gross. This is wow. Oh wow, this is bad. The smell is just. Oh my word. Oh, that's just disgusting. I'm out of here. Whoa. Oh wow. Oh wow. Now, something that's always struck me as being very odd is China's embrace of new technology, but at the same time using very, well, medieval practices when it comes to personal hygiene, to be fair. I don't know if there's a better word for that, backwards. But you know, you'll very often see a grandmother or a parent allowing their child to urinate or defecate in public into a drain or a rubbish bin or something like that. See what this lady's doing next to me? She's trying to make the kid take a leak. Right next to me. This is my foot, that's her foot. That's what the whistling thing is. For those of you who are wondering whether this is a common phenomenon or not, well, most infant clothing, the pants actually don't close at the back. It's got a split down the middle, split pants. It's bizarre because you'll walk around in China and see a lot of babies' asses hanging out the back of their pants, and it's simply because it allows easy access. You know, it's still fairly uncommon for children to wear diapers in China. This is for practicality reasons, but there's also a lot of traditional belief. A lot of the grandparents think that diapers are actually bad for the health of the baby. And I suppose you don't get nappy rash if you're never wearing, or diaper rash if you're never wearing a diaper, right? But you know, here's the weird thing. China really is a very advanced country right now anyway. Everybody is embracing all the latest in technology, you know, all the cashless payments and all the fancy cities and the way the government can monitor every step you take, all the cameras everywhere, all the apps on your phone that tell you that you've had a COVID screening, all that kind of thing. But it's just such a weird contrast because you've got this outer image which is very shiny and very high tech and very, you know, forward looking, but yet underneath that you still have a very backward sanitation system. The toilets cannot accept tissue paper or anything, so you're not actually allowed to flush anything down the toilets. That's why you always find a rubbish bin next to the toilets filled with, well, for lack of a better word, soiled tissues. All public bathrooms do not have toilet paper. There's a reason for this, because it just gets stolen by the lost generation. So that's another thing which is very odd and frustrating when you're traveling around China, living in China, is a public bathroom will 99% of the time not have any kind of toilet paper. So you have to bring your own tissues along with you everywhere you go. I've even stayed in hotels where there's no toilet paper, like this fantastic example where, well, for whatever reason, they have a very, I don't know what you'd call that, tasteful, tasteless picture. I'll go with tasteless picture of a young woman on the wall. But yeah, there was no toilet paper in here, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes when you're traveling around China. But what's the point? What's the point of this whole video? Why am I showing you these toilets in China, these wild toilets? Well, that's because it's a real thing. China really needs to catch up when it comes to its toilets and the habits surrounding it. And I understand the challenges that are involved here, especially with the lost generation and the idea that if it's a public facility, no one cares about it, no one takes any kind of notice whether it's in a terrible shape. That's also why you have such a big littering problem and a maintenance issue. But I do want to call China out on this. China, your public bathrooms are disgusting, and I'm saying that in the nicest way possible.
여러분의 소중한 의견을 남겨주세요. 바쁘시더라도 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 지금까지 단골이시였습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.